Comparing ourselves to others is a basic human instinct, and it has developed for a good reason. But in the modern age, it can also cause some serious mental problems, especially if we get into a downward comparison spiral.
You see, we start comparing ourselves very early in our lives. We compare ourselves to our classmates, our friends, family members, and then later on also to our colleagues. And with the rise of the social media, there's even more people that we can compare ourselves to. Don't get me wrong, I believe that a little bit of a competition and comparison can often help us grow in our lives, but the problems begin when we start comparing ourselves in a negative way and we start wanting that what others have. Whether that's a lifestyle, a body, possessions, a fame, and so on. And that's exactly what happened to me. Over the past few months, I've developed a really bad habit of comparing myself to others, especially on a level of career and a life direction. It got to a point where almost every Instagram post or YouTube video that I would watch would evoke some sort of negative or anxious emotion in me. This, of course, led to doubt, overthinking, and I was really confused and I wasn't able to decide what is it that I want to be creating. Now, as you can imagine, it took me a while before I realized, but when I did, I knew I have to get rid of this bad habit, and these are the steps I took. So hopefully if you're someone who tends to compare yourself a lot to others, you can take these steps and they will make your life a little bit better. So the first step was to identify where is the comparison happening. And as I said before, for me it was mostly on social media. We've become so used to social media that unconsciously we keep evaluating ourselves on the amount of likes or the amount of engagement that we get compared to the accounts that we follow or admire. And this is a really sad and bad habit. So I've decided to take a 30-day social media detox. I've deleted all the apps from my phone, and even though I kept reaching for my phone quite often, after a few days this habit disappeared and I could see the difference in my mood. Once you do this, you'll actually realize how often we are on social media and how much time we've spent just mindlessly scrolling through the feed. This is definitely a great step, but as I said before, comparing ourselves to others is a basic human trait, and if we don't want to develop the habit once again when we jump back onto social media, it is important to understand where does this come from, and that's the step number 2. In his book, The New Earth, Eckhart Tolle talks about the ego and how it originates from our mind, which is a never-stopping thinking machine. And the comparison is a way of our mind to strengthen our ego if we feel that we are better than someone else. But if we feel that we are not as good as someone else, our ego will actually make us feel less. When I talk about being better or not as good as someone else, I only talk about how our mind perceives it. Because in reality, there's no better or worse. We are all different and we are all the same at the same time. So how do you stop the ego from comparing ourselves to others? By being present. And the reason is that if you become present in your life, there will be no space for your thoughts and thus no space for comparing yourself to others. This finding absolutely changed my life in just a matter of few days. So how do you become present? For me, there are 3 techniques that really work, and now I'm gonna share those techniques with you. Technique number 1 is to focus on breathing. So whenever you can during your day, try to focus on deep breathing inside and out. And once you start doing this, you will notice how there are no thoughts in your mind because your full attention is in the present on the process of breathing. Now, if there will be some thoughts coming to your mind, just push them away gently and focus back on the breathing. You can practice this literally anywhere, when you're waiting for a friend, when you're commuting to work, or when you lost attention during the day and you need to regain the presence. If you will start practicing this, I can guarantee you that you will feel the difference in a few days. Technique number 2 is a little bit more advanced, but I can guarantee that if you will practice it for a few days, you will know what I'm talking about. And the goal of this technique is to focus on your inner body and on the energy that flows through your body. The easiest way to do this is to close your eyes and focus your attention into one of your body parts. I like to start with my feet or with my palms, And I put my full focus into this body part, and I try to feel the energy that is flowing through that part. From the beginning, it might feel a little bit weird, but as I said, if you practice it over and over again, you will get what I'm talking about. Now, once you manage to feel the energy in your palms or in your feet, you can try to focus on different parts of your body, and you will see that while doing this, you're absolutely present, and you'll find this sort of inner peace that is hard to describe. And then if you want to take it to another level, you can try to do this even when you're walking, when you're working on your laptop. Just have a little bit of presence in the back of your mind, focusing on your body and feeling the energy that flows through your body. So the third technique is not very difficult to practice, but maybe a little bit more difficult to describe. And it is watching, but watching with your full attention. So whenever you feel distracted, try to find an object that is near you. It could be a plant, could be a sky, could be a raindrop on the window, and put your full visual attention to this object and really try to understand it. After practicing this for a bit, you will see how present you become and how differently you will perceive the objects around you. Practice these 3 exercises whenever you can, and you will become much more present at any given moment. Once you start feeling confident about being present, it is time to use this presence. So you can join back on social media, and whenever you find yourself comparing to others, whether that's on social media or in your daily life, try to bring this feeling of presence into that moment, and you will see that the comparison will right away disappear. Another thing you need to know is that there's no point in comparing ourselves to others, because we are all different. We come from different environments, we were raised in a different way, we have different education, so comparing yourself to someone else is like comparing a dog to a dolphin. Another big benefit of being present is that once you realize that there's nothing else than a present moment, a lot of worries will actually disappear from your life, and a lot of good things will start flowing into your life, because you're not occupying your mind with negative thoughts, and all you do is you are in the present moment working on the things that has to be done. These are just my experiences, and I hope that this video will help at least one of you. Of course, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions on the concept that I've mentioned above, and let me know if you would like to see more videos on these self-development topics. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next video, and remember, be present, but most importantly, be kind to each other. Peace.